All right, boys, we're getting off the exit. TJ Hunt, we're going to his facility. This is where he actually works on his drift cars. I know he's got a Ferrari. He's working on a bunch of other crazy cars, but we're going to him. I'm doing my first mobile podcast with TJ Hunt. It's going to be a big one. We're just here to promote and grow the sport of paintball, baby. So it's super fun. Let's go. Yeah, but wherever you think. We made it, boys. We made it.
We can do
Dude, this thing's sick.
Oh, wow.
We got a little racing simulator in there?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow, okay.
We could shoot in there, or we could shoot somewhere in here. Like, depends what you want the backdrop.
Dude, this is sick.
Yeah, man.
I would say...
I can move this car, and we can set up right here.
Dude, it would be fucking sick with the shit.
As a backdrop.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So this is like your compound in here all day, every day, pretty much?
Yeah, it's really dirty right now.
No,
in the middle of like 2 full rebuilds, so it's like, it's kind of hectic.
How far is Escondido Paintball where you play?
Oh, from my house, it's like 25 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then you were right by us at that golf course, you said?
Yeah.
Madeira?
Dude, I'm on the other side of that hill.
You are? It was so beautiful out there.
Dude, Madeira's
It was sick. And the
super
houses
nice.
like on the courses were fucking
Have you
sick.
golfed there before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I golf a lot.
Oh,
Do you?
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
sick.
I golf a lot. I mean, I used to play like every week, but I played in the 3M Open last year.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta go with you.
That's like all I do now, and I got him.
I know. It's like, I'm like, you guys have to play paintball and you're running every day and golfing every day. I'm like, shouldn't you like be on the field?
I'm trying to golf. It's fucking
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
and I waited too long to learn, so I'm not that good. He's fucking really good. I'm trying to get better. So.
Yeah, it's
But-
hard, dude. If you don't start when you're young, it's so fucking
Dude,
difficult
yeah.
to get good.
Just having so
That,
much
that's
trouble
his
with it.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the
I
fuck?
grew
I
up
didn't know it was
playing.
this hard.
Yeah, dude, it's super.
Like, I just started like 4 months ago, and it's been
Oh
a
god,
disaster.
you're like super new.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We're ready. All right, all three. You sure, Danny? Says yep.
He's like, we're rolling.
Let's go. All right, we're live, baby. We just made it. Are we in Escondido or San Diego? What is this officially?
Dude, I like to say San Diego, but I mean it's San Diego.
It's San Diego, right?
In Escondido.
Okay, Escondido.
In San Diego.
Yeah, I guess so. We're TJ Hunt, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for allowing us to get you on the podcast.
Stoked to be here.
Dude.
I'm hyped. I've been a big fan of HK since I was like 9, so I'm hyped.
So stoked to come out here and see your facility. This is our first time doing like a mobile podcast
Really?
setup. Yeah.
I feel special.
So we came to him and
mobile setup. Dude.
and look at all these rad cars. I'm looking at Ferraris and Subarus.
Backdrop than what you guys were.
Way different backdrop and a way better backdrop, dude. I love this. This is so sick. So we're just stoked to come out here, and we just wanted to keep pushing paintball.
Yeah.
You know, you have a really good following in the car scene, as we are finding out and know, and as everyone knows you, because every time we post you, it goes crazy. So we wanted to come out and get out here and kind of, you know, mix the car world into paintball a little bit more, and just kind of give paintball a little love, because it needs it. It needs it.
Dude, it does. It feels so like the size is like gotten larger, but it feels like still the same like community like from when I first started playing. So I was like, anything I can do to like help bring awareness to this sport, I'm all for.
It's so. So I really wanted to get you on because like I played with you that one day at Jungle.
Yeah.
And kids were asking like, they're like, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Has he played before? I'm like, yeah, he's played before. Because usually when someone comes out, they're holding their gun all wonky.
All, like, looking
yeah,
goofy
and you're
shit.
sliding all good. You're looking like you've played.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone like when you started playing paintball and like how you got into it?
Yeah, so I do a bunch of car stuff now, and that's my YouTube channel is now. But when my YouTube channel was originally for paintball.
That's right. That's what you said.
Yeah, so like
And the exact YouTube the same one.
Yeah, it's like 15 years ago, 16. I think the date on my channel is like 17 or 16 years old, something like that. And the first like 30 years of it was all paintball stuff. So this is like back to like, I'm gonna guess here, but it was like 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11 was like, that was the era.
Yeah.
So all of my stuff that's when I first started playing at a field called Velocity Paintball in Ramona.
Yep.
And like Mr. Paintball, which isn't here anymore. But that's when I started playing.
Sick.
And started like getting involved in like PB Nation and like forums and trading and like all of that stuff. So that's when I first started playing.
Sick.
So it's been a minute.
And then so you started playing like walk-ons.
Started doing walk-ons,
yeah.
and then was like, wow, I really like this. And like my friends in my high school, we all played together, and then we're like, we should like play tournaments.
Yeah.
But we couldn't really like afford to like play those, so we're like, well, let's try pump. Somebody got involved in pump guns and met like a group here that was called Those Pump Guys, and then we made like a spin-off team, which was like Those Pump Kids. So like our coaches were like the guys from Those Pump Guys, and we did tournaments at like Camp Pendleton when that was around, and a couple of places like in Huntington and stuff. But that's like where I really started playing a lot, and then would do pump on the tournaments, and on the weekends would play with like, you know, walk-ons in groups with like the other guns and stuff.
Yeah, because when I saw you, you had a full custom jersey on.
Yeah,
like you were on a team at some point. You were playing, and then like what were you playing tournaments? Like because you were fully decked out, like head to toe.
I played for, like a small team here that was called Fatal Effect, which was that jersey, which was not pump, but like that was like a couple games I'd play here and there if I could afford it.
Yeah.
And then it was all like pump guns when we could. So like I played a lot. It was like my life. Like it was like I wasn't really into cars yet because I didn't have a license. So I was like, Mom, Dad, like you dropped me off at the field on Saturday and Sunday, and like I was playing. Man, I was playing every week. Every week for sure. And then we had a couple of friends with like bunkers in the backyard. We would like go and do like snap practices, and like I was all about it. I was super into it. So like I knew how to play. I don't know if I was like amazing, but like I knew how to play. We were competitive, and like when I started playing again a few months ago, it all kind of like came back, and I'm like, my mind knows what to do, but my body's like a little slow to do it. So I'm like kind of weeding out all the gremlins.
Click back real fast.
Yeah,
no, you look good. You look really good.
Dude,
I was impressed of how, and even your buddies that I know help work at the shop.
Yeah.
They were scared of nothing. They're out there balling.
A couple of them played when I played.
Oh, okay.
Like we didn't know each other back then, but they used to go to like you know, like the NPPL tournaments in Huntington and watch, and they had like Angels and autocockers, and I was like, oh shit, you guys played? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, dude, we gotta all go out. Yeah. And so like everyone kind of like brought back their old versions of themselves.
That's so cool. Do you feel like you know, because paintball, there's like a really high adrenaline rush. Yeah. I'm assuming like that rush I get from playing paintball. I don't drive these epic cars like you get that kind of same rush between the car. Yeah,
not the same as paintball. I think paintball gives you like, because it's like, you know, you kind of feel like you're on your own on paintball, but paintball is a much different adrenaline rush. Like I have trouble breathing in paintball. And like one thing in the race cars, like when we're like when we're at a race or we're driving, like one thing we always focus on is like breathing. If you catch yourself like when you're taking certain corners, just taking certain turns, or even like starting at the start line, to focus on your breathing. And if you catch yourself like, because we'll watch it back in footage, like, you know, in drifting, we'll enter into a bank, or there's a certain section we might be a little bit nervous about. We'll notice that I stop breathing, or you can hear it in myself, and so we really focus on that. And I applied to paintball. I found myself, I've been playing a lot of Snake. That's like, you know, no one wants to play Snake. So I'm always like, I'm down, like, let's go play it. And I found myself like getting into like S2 or S3, like I'm charging up, and I'm like out of breath. I'm like, fucking breathe, man. Like get it under control. Like the adrenaline from paintball is definitely different. It's definitely like survival mode, where it's like racing is like just don't die. But like it's a different type of don't die.
Yeah.
No, it's very different, but it's really good for the mind. I feel like it's really good like training to like stay calm in situations where you're like, it's 1v4 and I'm in the Snake. I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's a wrap, dog. If you can calm down and breathe in that situation, I mean, you're good anyway.
Yeah, one thing we always say in racing on comms is calm, cool, and collected. Like if you're calm, cool, and collected, you'll make a great decision. And that's something I try to like do when I'm on the field. I'm like, it's so hard to do.
Yeah, especially in that moment, like you said.
So it's different, and the exercise level is insane. So that's one thing. Like as I've gotten older, I'm like, it's great because I'm like, dude, the energy I get out of, or just like the exercise you get out of playing, especially playing Snake all day, is like next to nothing.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think for paintball too? Because when you see these videos, like a couple of videos will go viral, and a lot of people online will be like, "Oh, paintball, there's no skill. They're just shooting lanes. They're just shooting at nothing. But you are shooting at something. You're holding a lane, and it does take skill to play this game."
That's the thing that like drives me crazy. Is like when I have other friends or like, you know, are like that don't play. They're like, it looks so goofy. Like you're playing on inflatable things, like you're just shooting. And I'm like, you have no idea how much skill and experience and how difficult it is to actually like, you know, let's say you're like snapping with someone, the level it takes to just peek and hit the right shot and not like miss 2 feet every time. Like the skill level is, man, it's it's so difficult.
And while communicating to your other 4 people on
Yeah,
the
and
team,
having
like
awareness and not getting so laser focused on the guy in
Exactly.
front of you that you're getting rounded and getting crossed on the Dorito side when you're like, it's wild. It's so difficult, and the communication is everything. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what's hard in playing walk-ons. You're like trying to communicate, and they're like, "What's the monster?" And I'm like, "Bro, like,
dude, they don't
like,
know what's going on.
Get back into it, but like,
That's
it's
a
like,
disaster.
yeah, it's like we should talk about this before we go out because I hate just getting steamrolled. That's the worst. But,
yeah.
dude, it's the difficulty level and all that stuff is insane, especially now with like just how quieter the guns are and being able to hear and all that stuff. Like, it's definitely gotten more advanced and technical, which is cool, but it makes it harder to get back into.
Yeah, but you jump right back in. You're looking good, and
dude.
and you're grinding. Like, what sparked you to come back in? Because obviously you've had a long run of
yeah. So
cars.
like, I haven't played in like, dude, I haven't played in like maybe 10 years, and I kept all my old shit. Like, I still have all my old stuff. Like, that was like a time capsule of my life. Like, I'm keeping this stuff forever. Like,
I saw your setup. You had your dye goggles, like your whole set. I was like, this is like a blast from the past, dude. He's got his whole set.
Kept it all. On my 30th birthday, I was like, oh, like everyone's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to party. I don't want to drink. Like, I don't want to go out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I'm just getting old. I'm just like, I'm just not like really like too interested in that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
One of my guys was like, you know, for like years I've been like, dude, we should just go paintballing one weekend. And he was like, well, we should go paintballing. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, if I rented a field or if I got us to go out, would you guys go? And everyone was like, yeah, of course. So like literally 3 months ago, we went out. And I brought my Ego 10 out, and I met
Ego 10, dude.
I brought it out, and everyone was freaking. I'm like, what?
Ego 10, boys.
I thought it was good. That was, that was a trip, like getting caught up. But I met, I found a local shop here called Gotcha Paintball. The owner, his name was Ramon.
Great guy.
Yeah, and he was a sweetheart. Like, I walked in with the gun. I'm like, I haven't shot this in 10 years. I'm going tomorrow. Just wanted, like, I know how he's
dialed up, yeah.
Just like make sure it's good.
Yeah.
And like, a bunch of shit was wrong. Like, my LPR was leaking, my O-rings were cracked, and he was like, dude, like, there's just no way. And he was like, he gave me one of his personal guns.
So nice.
And he was like, go tomorrow. I trust you. Like, I know who you are. Like, there's a couple guys in the store that were like, oh, is that TJ? And kind of like built the trust. He was like, just take it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm going to try to get this fixed by tomorrow. And I was like, you sure? And then like at like 10 p.m. at night, he's like, I got it working. It's fixed. Like, can I come drop it off to you? And he like brought it to me like that night. And I was like, dude, that's insane. Went out and played, and I was like, fuck, dude, I'm back. Like, I'm so back. I had so much fun. And from that day, I have played once or twice every week for the last like 12 weeks.
And you've up from the Ego 10 to a couple guns if you want to. He upgrades quick. He upgrades his cars and his paintball guns, boys.
Well, it's like when I started playing, dude, I remember like a box of paint was like $80.
It was expensive back then. I
remember like going to the store and being like, okay, like I'm gonna like this weekend I'm gonna ball out for like dynasty paint. Like, I'm gonna get the nice shit. I'm not and and now like I always say like I'm a kid with like adult money now.
Yeah.
So I was like looking through prices and shit, and I'm like, this might like sound bad. I'm like, fucking $2,000? Like, fucking let's go. Like, that's like 30% for like what we do here. I'm like,
dude, compared to Ferraris and race cars.
And I'm like, dude, like, give me this, give me this, give me this. Like, and I was like, Ramon's like, oh, like he was like getting me caught up with everything. Like, who's still around? Who's not? Like, what's the good shit now? What's not? And I was like, dude, like, I'm going to town. So I just bought it all.
Yeah. And the good stuff, the nice stuff.
Let's not fuck around. Like, let's
go straight to the good shit, boys.
And and like now I'm just like fully obsessed, like shooting at home like every other day.
Yeah,
like,
I see you in front of your house, in the warehouse.
Dude, I got like,
I saw, is it your girlfriend? I don't want to mess this up or what? Yeah, she was videoing you snap shooting in front of the house. I was laughing. I was like, he's in this right now, boys.
Like, you look like an idiot. I'm just like out there like behind, like I'll like stand behind one of my cars and I have like a couple like homemade like posts. I'm just like,
yeah, just snapping, dude. He's ready.
Yeah, man. So like, I just started playing again, and it's like apart from like it's my off season right now for racing.
Yep.
So I have like it's about to end, but I had like 4 months of like no racing. I'm home, and I'm like I'm gonna play every weekend.
Oh yeah.
So I go back out, and just the exercise level, and I work out, and I go to the I run and all that stuff. But kind of what we were talking about earlier. The exhaustion you get playing
whole different.
is so different, and especially like playing airball again, and just like crawling and diving,
And fully geared up with all that gear and the paint. It weighs.
Yeah, like I love like the next day I'm like, dude, I'm fucking beat right now. Like my hips hurt. I'm walking different. And now I'm finally like, kind of getting back into my groove. But it's been like, I love the exercise. The community has been so inviting and welcoming. Like I've played with a bunch of different like. I played with the D3 team. I played with the D4 team. Like, come out and practice with us. Like, you're all good. Like, come walk on. And everyone's so nice. And I've been, like, treated so well that I'm just, like, I'm in. Like, man, like, it's been so good. So I'm, like, you know, I'm geared up. And I'm, like, I was going to hit you up for the R5 the other day. I haven't
Here we go. Look. We got the CS3, the LV2. We do the R5.
Every time I bust them out, everyone's like, oh, shit. Like, is that the shredder? Is that the Ace K? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Like, every time I take them out,
So sick.
everyone's tripping.
Sick.
So dude, I'm just, and now a couple guys are trying to get me to play in a couple tournaments. And
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I know the season's coming up and stuff, but
I want
maybe.
to. I know.
Yeah.
So I told everyone who's asked me, I'm like, don't put me on the roster, but like put me as like your like backup to your backup.
Yeah.
And if you like ever need like a guy, like text me, and if I'm home, I'm there.
Maybe something local, because like WCPPL, I don't know if you know what that is. Yeah. Like those events, they're right here.
Yeah, so everyone's
Maybe you jump in one of those one day.
I told everyone like I'm fully down to play.
Sick.
Just like you just gotta let me know,
Sick.
and I'll let you know if I'm there. And if I am, I'm playing.
Yeah, and another thing, while we're on the podcast, so we have it dialed in. I think because you said maybe doing like a fun day, like where you get your YouTube crew. Or maybe more influencers to come together and we do like a hunt and code TJ Hunt day, paintball day. We bring everyone out and make a splash, because I know like I would appreciate it, and I speak for a lot of the paintball community. It would be huge just for paintball, and I think your fans would have fun doing it.
I've been thinking about it is haven't like put the idea to paper. Is I want to do like a big like hunt and code day where like I go to like whether it's like Todd Martinez at Giant or whomever and be like, yo, like I want to buy the field out for the day. I want to like cut entry costs to like nothing, like just eat the cost and be like, come out for free, sign the waivers, get some guns, and just like get people out to play.
It'd be awesome.
And just try to run it and just see what happens. And I don't know, I think because a lot of people that watch the channel are like, I've been watching since the paintball days. A lot of people are like, dude, I want to do that. I just don't know how. And, you know, I get that.
Yeah, or you used to play a long time and haven't played again. So I feel like we really get a lot of people back into this little sport of ours that, you know, we're sitting here trying to grow as best we can.
Man, like
I think it'd be genius. It would be great if we work that out. We'll help you too, whatever it is.
It's just like finding the right field, finding someone that's local, and finding someone that can like.
Todd, I haven't been to this field here, but I know Todd's doing a good job. He's putting an airball field in there. Could it hold that amount of people if you push it like that?
I mean, I think Todd. I don't know. The parking lot isn't as big as like let's say like Jungle or something like that, or
Jungle, or if we had to.
But I'd love to do it there. I know that they would be super stoked. And once to get the airball field set up, you know, that's my home field, so it'd be cool to do it there. But it's just logistically finding a way to make it happen.
Got it. Yeah, we got to work on that. That'll be sick.
I would love to. If you want,
Todd's a good friend of ours.
That's set up. Like,
dude, done. We'll push that hard with you. Hell yeah. Okay.
I'm for it.
We'll work on that after. And then let's get into like a little bit of car stuff too. Like, so obviously, you know, we're in your full blown warehouse here, which is absolutely amazing. I'm looking at so many cars, which half of them I don't even know what's going on. It's so crazy. Can you give like a rundown? Because a lot of the paintballers here might not know like kind of your story in the car thing. You don't, you know, it doesn't have to go.
So I mean, I started doing paintball stuff on my channel, and then like it kind of like I stopped uploading once I kind of got into like college. I just didn't have the time, and a lot of guys who I used to play with like moved away, and it just. So then when I got my license, I've always been really interested in cars. Like when I was being in San Diego, like there's exotics everywhere. Like I was always obsessed with them when I was younger, and when I turned 16, it was like the best day ever because I got my license. I could finally get behind the wheel and like kind of feel more connection to these cars. And so then I just kind of started uploading when I was like 18, 19. This was like 12 years ago where like YouTube wasn't popular. YouTube was considered like if you did it and you weren't like popular, even if you were popular, it was like considered weird. I used to get made fun of a lot, and I would like post vlogs and all this type of stuff. And it was like, I don't know, I was not like ashamed of it, but like I got more teased from it than I did
before
of, like,
Casey Neistat was going on his daily vlogs.
This was before Neistat. This was like, you know, there was like, this is like for anyone watching that like knows YouTube, this is like back in like the Prank First Prank, like Jesse and Gina, like daily vlogs. This is like way older YouTube.
Got it.
where just the community was different.
Yeah, and you were going on.
Yeah, and then, I started posting my stuff in the forums and just building my cars with, like, no money. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you walked into money. It's like, I started with nothing and just, like, did modifications that didn't cost anything, like spray painting wheels and, like, saving dollars up. And I've always been really into, like, blackjack and stuff because my dad used to play a lot. So, like, I remember when my first job was, like, working for a company called SD Wrap, and I would, like, was a sales commissioner. I would go to Cars and Coffees with my car that was wrapped, and I would try to, like, sell wraps.
Yeah.
And I would use that money that I got, and I would go to the casino, and I would, like, I love blackjack. Anyone wants to play blackjack, I'm always down.
Parlaying the rap money at the blackjack, doubling his money.
I learned how to play the game. I learned how to, like, basic count strategies, and I would go to the casino and
Like
go
around here, like Pachanga or like something. Yeah,
yeah,
baby.
and I would learn how to count cards, and I would go and play at the high roller. I was like 18, 19, and I would be there with like $500, and I would just play.
No way.
And
Probably.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
He plays too.
Oh, okay, yeah. He plays paintball too, Mickey Mays.
So I learned how to play, and, like, it wasn't always successful. There was some times where I would, like, triple or quadruple my money.
No way.
I would use that money to buy car parts to, like, make videos on. So, and then eventually, like, YouTube kind of started to pick up a little bit, and it got popular, and I got more hate on YouTube because I'd post it in forums and Facebook pages where it was like, the community, how forums are, PP Nation, like, it's a very toxic space.
Oh, man.
So, like, I got shit on more than, like, I guess it was success. But eventually it steamrolled. It started to pick up. And then I started doing, like, rather than filming, a lot of people would just film, like, the driving experience of cars. And I didn't really have cars to film. So rather than filming cars, I would kind of film, like, the title and thumbnail, and the catch would be the car. But it would be, like, more of me and, like, my friends group. And that's what I focused on, was, like, what I had to offer, which wasn't much, but just, like, a kid with just liked cars. And then it snowballed, started, like, growing, and 1 month it was like 2,000 a month, the next month it was like 4,000, and then it was like 6,000. And then I was just getting into college, and I was in the nursing program at Cal State, so it was very, like, a lot of schooling. And I would schedule out, like, okay, I'm gonna upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, and I would schedule, like, Mondays will always be like an in-car vlog, just me talking about a car subject. Wednesday was like I would do a skit or something funny, and then Sunday was I would find a friend and drive his car and, like, review it. So I had this schedule. I scheduled out, like, all these times, and started growing, and then eventually when I was in school, I still have the screenshots on my phone from, like, 15 years ago where it was like I made $7,000. I'm like, no, I'm fucking tripping, man. Like, there's no way this is legit. And then it was like $10,000, and I was like, no way. Like, this is not real.
All from YouTube Rev.
All from YouTube Rev. Awesome. And this is, like, before there was, like, third-party ads, sponsors.
Yeah.
And eventually I started to think, like, okay, like, I should reach out to these car websites that sell car parts. And I was wheeling and dealing and being like, hey, like, I have a YouTube channel, and 98% of the time I got blown off. Like, YouTube then was like,
they didn't look at it now.
Nothing.
How it is now.
Like, no one gave a shit. And I'd be like, hey, like, if you guys give me, like, I have this idea where you guys give me $1,000 in credit every month, and I'll give you, like, 3 videos a month where I'm installing and, like, driving traffic to your website.
Yeah.
So then I got these weird little deals set up where I would just get cost on parts and gambling to, like, do the math. Like, okay, I just need to make, like, $220 and I'm fucking out. Like, that's all I need for, like, this month.
This is so sick.
And then I remember when I was in like going into my 3rd year in college, and I think at this point I had made like 12 or 15 grand a month for like 3 months consistently. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm making more than what I will when I graduate.
Yeah,
I'm working. So I was like, fuck it, it was going into summer, and I was like, now this was when Casey Neistat was kind of popular. Yeah. And I loved Casey, and I'm like, okay, Casey, daily vlogs, like, if I'm doing 3 videos a month, so I'm doing 12 videos a month, making 10, 12 grand, I'm going to do 30 videos a month and see what happens.
Ramp that shit up, baby.
So started daily vlogging, and then started traveling, meeting friends from YouTube on the East Coast, and started traveling and doing little meetups. I maybe had like 150,000 subscribers, maybe 200,000. And eventually it was like, went back after summer to the first day of class on, like, my 3rd year, and I sat in the first, like, which was like economic strategy or some shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, like, we're going to have like 10 hours of homework a week. We have this essay due in 2 weeks. And I was like doing the math. I'm like, okay, well, I'm supposed to travel next weekend to go to like New Jersey, and then I need to get this video done, and I like fucking panicked, and I just got up and fucking left.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. There's just no way. So I went to my dad, and I'm like, hey, I went straight to the dean's office or counselor, and I was like, can I take a semester off? And like, you can take 1 semester off before all your credits are lost. Took it off, continued. I think maybe that month I made like 20 grand or something, and I was like, I'm not going back. Like,
Can I ask real quick? I mean, how far along in school were you? How many years in were you to college?
3 years through. So I was
Wow, you're almost done.
I was almost done.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I don't take this opportunity, and one of my friends then was Christian Guzman. He's in the Alpha Elite gym fitness world. I was really into like fitness and stuff back then. I was really close to him. He was very successful. He did this very similar story, and he was like, I called him one day, and I'm like, dude, I want to drop out, but I'm so fucking scared. And he was like, look, one thing I told myself is like, school will always be there. If this fails, you can always go back to school. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it. The thought of not taking the opportunity of like the consistent revenue was more scary than having to go back. So I dropped out. Shit just kept going to the sky, and then I was like, I'm fucking done. Yeah. And then started, a few different things here or there, and found the revenue.
Now that where you've gone to, I don't mean to cut you off. Your parents, I mean, it was the right decision. You had to do that.
For sure.
I mean, we did the same thing with paintball. Like, we were going to college, everything, and it kind of took off, and it was like one or the other, and we went all in on paintball, and I'm glad I did. I mean, everything's going great. So your parents can't be mad at you for that, right? Oh, okay, yeah.
They're not mad.
I didn't mean to interject you right there. You were going good.
At the time, they were like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
like,
I bet, yeah.
Like, look, like, I was like, I'll pay back my tuition. I'll pay back everything. Like, I'm chasing this dream. Yeah. And never looked back. And I mean, now it's gotten to a level of that's like, like just insane.
Yeah, this is epic.
Like, the world in cars has evolved so much. I've been like, there's an event called SEMA, which is the biggest car convention in the world. It's actually a trade show. It's like where every brand of anything in the car world goes here, puts it on display, and they show the coolest, wildest stuff they have to offer that year. I would always go, and I was always like pitching myself, and like would go to like all these corporates. Back when I'm like 21, 22, and I'd sneak into the show because I didn't work for a company. I would like counterfeit badges online, like make fake places of work to get in. Like,
you're always hustling, dude. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing is I loved what I was doing so much. Like, I never stopped. Yeah. And that's something that I've noticed with like, as I've gotten older, like maybe it's maturing. Maybe it's like I'm getting older and I'm like, not getting tired, but like I was working 15 hours a day, every day for years and years and years and years. I just loved what I was doing. And I was reading all these books that was firing me up and just learning how to like, just navigate that world. And I was always trying to wheel and deal because I saw this future of what automotive world would be once the internet caught up. And I was always pitching myself to these companies, like some of our biggest corporate sponsors now, like Valvoline, Meguiar's, 3M, Sunoco, all these major
big boys,
billion-dollar industries. That I was like, hey, like I have a YouTube channel, I do this, like I have this money, and I was going for years and years. Like the third year in a row, I went back to these same companies, and they're like, I remember you from like the previous years. We've always told you to kick rocks.
Yeah, you told me no.
And I would always come back with like, here's where I was then, here's where I am now, here's where I am now, here's where I am now. Like, let me have a meeting with you. Like, let's set something up. And eventually it all worked out. And I'm so glad I never bailed on it. And now it's gotten to a level that now the industry relies on the internet marketing where magazines and commercials and all that stuff are out. So like, I saw where the future was going, and I just invested every hour of life into it.
That has to be I get goosebumps listening to that. That has to be such a good feeling, especially you at school during that time, you didn't know where this was going to be. Exactly. You kind of did. That was a big monumental decision, and you made the right one.
I had a hunch that I was like, there's no way it won't. Yeah. But I always got like a bunch of like crazy looks, like, dude, like, because you got to remember like YouTube then and Instagram didn't mean anything.
No.
It meant nothing. Like, no one gave a shit. Like I said, it was very like, not taboo, but it was very weird. Yeah. It was like you make videos of yourself online and you think that like
you're ahead of the curve, dude. That's it. You're ahead of the curve.
So, I mean, I always tell people like I invested in Apple before Apple was Apple. Like,
exactly.
I invested in like the social platform.
Yeah, that's good.
Before it was $1 billion industry like it is today.
So sick, dude. That story's awesome, dude. That's so insane. From the hustle and the poker and all that. I didn't know any of that. That's so rad, dude. Whatever it took to get it done, dude. I love that.
I mean, it was like I could, work this many hours, or I could like risk it all.
Yeah.
And use every advantage that I could to try to make extra dollars.
So that's awesome. So then, like, the main thing though, like, because obviously you do the YouTube and you're building cars, and that's kind of like the main thing. But you also race, right?
Yeah.
Or we're racing, or are you currently racing?
Currently
like,
race, yeah.
And are you on the circuit like that Matt's on, or like what? Because Matt's Formula Drift, so you're doing that too.
So
I know, so the car people is probably like, dude, how do you not know this? But like,
no. So here's the thing, like in the world of like racing, there's like 100+ different types of racing, different series, different style of racing.
Yeah.
There's like sprints, there's enduros, there's drifting, there's autocross, all these things. So I started drifting like 6-7 years ago, which is what Matt does.
Right.
He drives in Formula D, which is like, the Premier League.
like NXL paintball, the highest level. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
To do that, it's a traveling circus. It's intense.
What's up, dude? Sorry.
It's super expensive to do, and it's 8 rounds. You're all over the place. So I don't drive in Formula D. I drive in a bunch of like other like Pro-Am series and stuff.
Okay.
We were gonna. I haven't said this anyway. We were gonna jump into Formula D this year.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, let's do it. Like we believe we have the skill. We for sure have the skill to drive and be competent. But just the funding and stuff is a whole nother game. And with how much we have going on, pulling away from like other things that have value to me didn't line up this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever drive in that specific series, but we're driving in a bunch of different drifting series, but just on like more of a Pro-Am level.
Gotcha.
With the same field that's in Formula D,
Yeah.
but we're not committed to, all right, we're going to be in Atlanta this weekend, and then the next weekend we're in Orlando, and then we're in California, and then we're here. It's like with how much else we have going on, it's very tough.
That's a lot. It's tolling on you too.
It's
And you're away from home. You're away from your family.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And then, but I do a lot of other racing, which is like wheel-to-wheel racing, which I do with like Team Sunoco and Rapscally, and I drive for them. So I have my hands in a lot of different places, and I'm gone a lot. So it's like kind of like figuring out where I want to go, and there's 40 different
avenues to choose from.
There's like GT3 racing, GT4 racing, WRL racing. There's NASCAR. There's like, Rush series. There's so many different things. But the thing with racing is funding is everything. Like racing is, to do a level of Formula D, a lot of guys will penny pinch and make do with what they got. But there are some teams in Formula D that have a budget of $2 million a year to race.
Crazy.
And there's other guys who are doing the same thing that are like family owned, making it work with like way less.
Yeah.
And that's in Formula D, and that's like the cheapest racing. Then you get into like WRL, which is like 8-hour enduro racing, which is not professional, but it's like as close as you can get before it gets to professional. And doing arrive and drives there is hundreds of thousands of dollars a race.
Got it. So you got to be really committed to be at that top.
Yeah,
level
you
of
either
that
got to
racing.
be like Dan Brazilian and have so much money.
You need a big backer.
Funding it,
Yeah.
or you're a driver that has skill base and you have partners and stuff to make it happen.
Yeah.
But you're going to them with like, hey, like I need $1 million to drive in this series this year. What can we do?
Right.
It's tough.
And I'm sure there is some probably families that just fund it themselves, probably some
There
mega
are.
rich. I know if you're in this car industry, you either hustle like you or you come for money. It's
A lot
like
of that F1 guys, a lot of them come from money, but a lot of them, like Lewis Hamilton, the greatest drivers in the world, like his family gave up everything to get him in karting, and they're starting when they're 7 years old.
Yeah.
And some guys have the skill, but it like karting, before you get to like F1 and stuff, you're karting, and karting is the most insane competitive racing out there. And these families like are giving up everything for these kids to go and race. And the percentage, F1's only 20 drivers.
chance of you getting from karting to F1 is slim pickings.
I don't want to say it's impossible,
Yeah.
but it's a very fascinating world. But people underestimate how expensive the world of racing is.
Got it.
Like it is insane.
Yeah.
It's
No,
insane.
I always hear this, and I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Paintball is kind of expensive, but nothing compared to this.
Yeah, no, that's why I like coming to Paintball. I'm like, dude, let's
This
roll.
is nothing,
Like,
dude. I'm used to buying $20,000 rims for a car.
when we go drifting, just a set of tires for like a competition, we'll go with maybe like 16, 18 tires. I mean, that on paper, you're spending $250 a tire.
That's crazy.
That's like $4-6 grand just in one consumable.
And those are torched just in like.
Yeah, they'll be
Instant,
gone
yeah.
in a lap.
And will you be sponsored by a tire company and at least you will get hooked up, or you're buying those?
No, so I'm partnered with Nitto.
Yeah.
So like I'm in the position where like we've been able to build what we've built to where, you know, every area on a car we have a partner to make it happen. But without them, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is we have all these things, sure, but like it is impossible without the support of these companies that like kind of like see the same vision as us.
Yeah.
It's difficult, man. So like there's guys out there who give up everything to build it and fund it themselves, and like the utmost respect to them.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough where we have those partners that can make it happen, but it still costs an
Even.
insane amount of money.
bet.
Like an insane amount.
I bet. Hell yeah. Well, last couple things too. Like, so I see like there's multiple cars in here. Like, I've been following your YouTube lately. Obviously, this Ferrari behind me has kind of been like the bread and butter behind it.
Doing that recently, yeah.
Do you kind of just pick and choose? Like if when you're done with this thing, will you start building another car instantly for yourself, or like how do you decide when you're gonna do that?
Yeah. So like every car. So like the schedule throughout the years, like I don't know. I think we'll upload like 12 to 15 videos a month. So we have to have consistent stuff all
going.
year.
Yeah.
So usually like every car here has, we call it like in-house, we'll call it like a stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. We're like, we're going to get the car. It's going to be stage 1 of the build. Then we're going to take it a step farther, make it get to stage 2. And then sometimes they go to stage 3, which is like, you know, insanity, like the Veil side. Like that's an insanity level of build.
Yeah.
The Ferrari, like we have usually we have like crazy, at this point, I've built everything.
Yeah.
I've gone through everything.
You've
I've
done it all.
done everything I've owned in my life of doing this. I've owned like 65 different cars.
Yeah.
And once you kind of do them all, you're like, what next? Like, should I just do it again, make it a different color and faster? And like, we've gotten to the point now where it's like, I don't want to call it like desensitized to certain things, but like, I'm like, dude, let's try to do things that no one's done before, or like do a level of something that you're like, you can't do that, or you can't acquire these things. Like, it's just not, like, it's next to impossible.
Yeah.
So that's what we always aim for, and those aren't always possible to make consistently, but usually every year we have like one build that's like, oh, like, you know, no one's done that, or only a few people have done that.
Got it.
Which, so like everything's kind of has a certain plan for it, but you have to think of it like, I own a bunch of cars. Yes, it's really cool, but like these cars are what our show is.
Yeah.
So they're all like consumables in a way. Like as a business expense, like, okay, I'm going to invest this money. It's going to we'll do this many episodes off of it. If I want to keep it, cool. If not, I'll be able to sell it. Here's what my exit price will be. If we're going to do these things, our sponsors can help cover this much of it. We can get these parts from these partners and, you know, whatnot. And then if I'm done with it, sometimes usually a lot of time I'll build something crazy, and before it's even done, someone's hitting me up.
Reach out to you. That's crazy. So it's all business, basically. It's all business. Yeah.
Like there's, you know, some people will give me crap because I sell certain cars, this and that. And like I have, you know, there's some people that do what I do that are out there that keep all their cars, which is cool.
Yeah.
But not everyone's in California and has our taxes.
Yeah,
and
dude.
stuff. So like,
They
I'm
take
like,
a lot of our checks, boys.
like, dude, if I could do everything, I absolutely would. But it's at this point, it's like it's a business that I love. But a lot of these are like trading cards, as I always see it. Like I have an idea of like what cars I want to get to one day, but to do that, I gotta flip, I gotta trade, I gotta do this, I gotta find the right deal, I gotta find opportunities, and some cars will leave. As much as people hate it, or they get they give me shit for it. But some cars I keep. There's like a car up there on the back with that car on the back right with the bag on it. That's the car that started my channel.
And that's under there.
That's a BRZ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that car I'll never get rid of. I'll always keep that.
Like, there's nothing. No one's gonna come up to you and say, "Look, I want to take that TJ." You're not letting that go.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a few things that we've built. Like we built an R34 GTR, which is like my holy grail car. Like there's a couple ones that were just like dumb money went into, and I'm like, I'm never getting rid of this. Like I'll sell everything and be all broke on the side of the road before I like have to let that go.
Hell yeah.
But a lot of them are like, I'm gonna enjoy them, I'm gonna run them, and I don't want to get rid of them. But some of them are like, if someone offers me a good deal and it can help like fund that next idea,
Done.
then like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Got it. No, I like it. Dude, thank you so much for letting us come out here. I know you play a little bit of golf. I'm getting into golf. Danny golfs. We got to go golfing one time.
Golf guy.
Let's play
here.
some golf
I would
sometime.
love to.
Yeah.
He was just in my neighborhood like 2 days ago. I'm like, dude, that's where I live.
I live on the other side of the hill, dude. I could almost throw a rock to your house.
Yeah,
We'll do a little golf for sure. Let's play some paintball and set up that paintball day.
I want to get up. We need to go out with Jared Deanda. He hits me up every week to go golf.
Yeah.
And you remind me of him so much. You guys are so, I think I told you that when I met you. I'm like, you're so similar to Jared.
That's the guy I was telling you, like the Formula Drift,
The voice of
the
FD.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
He invited us out to his. He has a membership out there where he lives.
Yeah, so shout out to Jared. I
Jared,
know.
what up, baby?
Go out and play. He's always trying to get us to go out, but I'd love to play with you guys.
Yeah, done deal.
That'd be rad.
We'll have it, dude. Thank you so much. We're gonna let you get back to what you got to do. So
Man, I
we
appreciate
appreciate it, TJ. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we are out. Hell yeah, dude. That was so good.
Where do you want to start?
Wherever you want to start. We got TJ. We just finished the podcast. It was absolutely amazing, but we're gonna get a quick little tour of his facility right here and some of the cars.
You tell me where you want to go.
Can we go back to this one?
Okay.
Okay, we got to go back to this one real quick.
So this is FDRX7 with a Veilside body kit on it, and then we did a 20B swap into the car. So very cool engine, very like rare engine. You don't see a lot of guys do them. They're very expensive, make a lot of power, but like rotaries are like witchcraft in like the car world. Like there's a few guys who know how to build them, and an even fewer amount of guys who like know how to tune them. So this one's very cool. This one makes way too much horsepower for how much the car weighs. We like recently finished it. We're still fine tuning a couple things on it, so why the hood's not on it, but very cool. This one gets a lot of like attention online just because of like the body kit and like the wheel setup, and this one's gangster. This one's super
This
cool.
is sick right here.
This
This
one's
thing's sick.
This one's super rowdy.
And he said real quick, just because even the paintball's on it, you said 1,000 horsepower probably to this little guy.
This one produced about 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, different turbo sizing and different injector stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it at like 800.
So you can kind of tweak from 8 to 1,000 depending
Well,
what
it's
you do.
like the tire setup we have on it. It just won't put it
grip.
down.
Yeah.
You know, we still have like huge. I think it's like 315s on the back, which is like a really big tire R compound. But even still, like, you know, in like fourth or fifth gear, we'll still spin the tire.
Dude, that's crazy.
So like it's way too fast. This is one of our race cars. This is actually our retired chassis from. I've been driving this car for like 5-7 years. It's the wheels are off right now because we were test fitting them on the Corvette. But this one's really cool. It's a drift car, so it's like what Fields does.
Yeah. Have you ever crashed this car?
Yeah.
He says, hell yeah, we have one. Hell yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We're in drift, baby. We're going to hit some cars.
This in the wall going like 65 miles. Like you can kind of see it's like kind of crumpled over here.
Yeah.
So this whole area at one point was like stuffed into the back of the firewall.
Really?
That's why
Oh,
like
shit.
you'll cut off the front of the car
then
to
you gotta
replace the frame
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But this is Jay-Z, big single. It's pretty much got all the race components and stuff on it that strip away like the drivability for street and stuff.
Yep.
This makes like 800, you know, sequential gearbox, big diff in the back, full race car, all that.
Quick question, because I don't know a lot. Like, do you have to be stuck at a certain horsepower? Is it capped? You know what I mean?
No.
You know how at paintball
No.
you're stuck at 10.5,
Yeah,
right? You can't
no.
do that. You could be at 1,000. Next thing you could be at 500.
Yeah. So the way drifting works is they cap you by tire regulation.
Tires.
So you'll have like a, you know, everyone. Drifting is kind of the opposite. People think, oh, you're going sideways. You want to be as loose as possible. We actually put the most amount of grip possible in the rear of the car. We're running like 8 PSI on the back of the tire.
Low pressure.
Low pressure
Yeah.
because we want the most grip, but
Yeah.
the cars just make so much torque and so much
It was
horsepower.
still-
And the way the car's suspension geometry is set up, the car wants to go sideways, but it's
Wow.
about getting the grip while going sideways.
Wow.
So, but
This
you'll,
is
you know,
sick, dude.
everyone will be set to like a 265, 300 tread per tire. And there's a certain point where if you have, let's say we had 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
That's just way too much horsepower for that tire that it's actually so fast, you're spinning so much tire, you're going slower.
It will slow you down.
So
you
it's
have to
all
find
about
that happy
finding
medium.
the right amount of horsepower with each different car is all different chassis, obviously, and each chassis has certain components about it that allow it to get more chassis grip than tire grip. So it's about finding a chassis that gets good fundamental grip, matching that with the right amount of horsepower to be that balance of like fast enough, or the fast guy.
So you got to get pretty technical then
It's-
to dial that in. Yeah.
Everyone else is so much smarter than me. I drive the
You
cars,
let them
but
do it. We
they-
get in and press the
they set up the, you know, everything,
yeah.
and we community is very small, like paintballing, and you know, you read the guys that have been driving pro for 15 years. You ask them what their secret sauce setup is on alignment setup and certain components and stuff, but it's wild.
That's
Very
sick.
cool. This one's just like the green one.
Yeah.
Another RX-7, but doesn't have that body kit on it. But this one still makes a lot of power, makes like 600. Very special car to me. I've had it for a very long time. We like built it out of New Zealand and imported it back. It's very cool. That's my first car.
This is the one you said you'll never, ever, ever, ever
Never
sell.
get rid of that one. Yeah, it's a BRZ, which
Sick.
is really cool. 1965 Mustang.
Mustang.
It was inspired off of the Tokyo Drift Fast and Furious
Yeah.
series. has a RB26 engine, which is a GTR engine.
Oh, sick.
So it has a Japanese tuner engine inside of a American hot rod.
Now, how many people do that style? Like,
No one's done this.
okay,
yet.
I was like, you don't
No.
hear that. That's
Yeah,
like,
no one.
Is that against the rules? Like,
That one is like very like.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did that.
How could you do
Like,
that? Yeah.
You didn't keep it with a big V8. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like friction, but
Yeah.
it's like it's fun doing different things.
Hell yeah.
So
Dude, that's sick.
that one was really cool. We just did a full restoration and did the whole chassis. That one's super rad.
That's sick.
This yellow car is really cool. Evo 5, dandelion yellow, rare color. We just built the whole car over the last like couple months. Went to the dyno and like we're tuning it, and then we finished off the tune. We're going on the street to see how it felt, and we exploded the block.
No way.
The whole thing like detonated like a bomb.
Oh shit.
So we just got the new engine. We're building it right now. So that's the new engine. But like, look, come over here. This
you
is
see where it blew through? Oh, damn.
no like explosion.
Toast.
Like grenaded it.
Oh
like
my god.
driving it. There's a video clip on my Instagram if you find it.
Yeah.
It like shifted, and then when we shifted into like fourth gear, it just went poof and like blew the hood up and like
shit.
oil everywhere and
So
like.
when that happens, the car's just, it's done up. Like you're towing
Yeah.
the thing out.
Yeah.
There's
So then
there's
we
a giant hole in it.
Yeah, and we like just finished it
Oh.
after like building it for a very long time, and then that was an older engine, and we were riding the line of how
Yeah.
much it could take. So then this is our new built engine.
And this can handle that now.
yeah. So we'll put this in. I think tomorrow we're gonna reassemble the head and put it all
Sick.
back in the car, and then go tune it again. Hope it doesn't blow up.
Let's not blow it up this time, boy.
Yeah. So that one's really cool. We're almost done with that car. A lot of the cars I like do are like things I haven't, been able to like. Some of the cars I try to do are cars that are really hard to find.
Yeah.
And then get that like super rare version that's like no one's touched. And
Or the
like,
color or
yeah,
whatever.
like find a color like that
Yeah.
one's unique. Evo 5s aren't nearly as popular as like 8s and 9s and stuff. Wicked cars, super rad.
Yeah.
This Corvette is
This thing looks gnarly.
yeah.
This thing looks nuts.
Yeah, this is like one of our practice cars that we'll use for drifting.
Okay.
So, for example, like if that like 350 or that's like our pro car or one of our other pro cars we're building, let's just say it costs like to run it every hour. Let's say it costs like $1,500 an hour to run as far as like tire consumption, fuel consumption, like parts that fail, whatever. This car is like, might cost like $300, $400 an hour to run.
Got it.
But like we'll use them in certain events when we need to. But it's like go to certain tracks, go to certain events, and get seat time in these cars because those cars will take like 3 pit guys with us, 3 guys that will monitor the car, plugging into the ECU, make sure everything's good, just like mechanically checking everything. Where like this car, I can damn near go by myself.
Yeah.
Is that why Matt Fields rocks the Corvette?
He has 2 different cars too.
Yeah, no, so like Corvette is just what Matt likes to drive.
okay.
That's like
Yeah,
his
he drives
chassis.
that car, yeah.
And we actually hit him up a lot for our alignment setup
Yeah.
and stuff. So shout out to Matt. But more so, the engine component isn't as crazy. We still built the engine, and it's a wild engine, but it uses a stock driveline and stock ECU, which means like stock transmission, stock diff, stock ECU. Like the complexity level isn't nearly as crazy as like those race cars where it's like aftermarket ECUs, aftermarket wiring harness, like way more, makes way more power, uses way more, I don't know how to say, like the chance of something going wrong with one of those cars is way more, and just takes a lot of eyes to make sure it's good, always monitor it. Where this car, it's like, makes a gang of power, like you're good to go, drive all day, better tow it to yourself, bring tires, and just change them.
You can go out and practice with this bad boy, and then when it's race day, we get into the monster.
Yeah, it just helps balance out the cost because those are just really expensive, and it's not worth practicing in a car. Like if we have a race in a week, you go and practice that, which we'll do, but like for a lot of people and for certain situations, we're like, we don't want to risk if I screw up or something goes wrong. I'd rather like save that for the race.
Yeah, you don't want to.
You want to like make sure they're tested and stuff, but like there's a balance.
Yeah.
There's a balance. This one I bought for my 30th birthday.
This is a nice present. This is a nice birthday present.
Yeah, this one's cool. So it's a Ferrari 488, and this is like our stage 1. It was like, we added like.
Well, I already saw your stock rims are over there.
Yeah, so we got stock wheels over there. We like added, front lip, side skirts, diffuser, all the carbon bits and stuff.
I saw a video where you were doing the exhaust.
Yeah, so like we've done all those components, right?
Yeah.
And then we just put new turbos on it and just tuned it, so it makes like 200 horsepower more wheel than a stock one. So it's just a very fun car, and we have a really crazy plan for this that hopefully we'll be able to start it in like a month or two.
Sick.
But
gotta be on the lookout.
Yeah. But it's cool. So until then, I'm like just driving it, having fun with it.
Yep.
But, usually, like each car like this, there's certain ones that I buy just to like drive, but a lot of them I like buy them because I have this crazy idea or plan lined up that will be able to pull off.
Dude, this is so sick. And it sounded so good when you started. When you started it this morning.
Twin turbo V8.
Nice,
the Ferraris. It's cool. It's a looker for sure. This one's fun to drive.
This is sick.
Yeah.
Dude, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate
We're out
you
of
coming
here.
through. Now we need to come back out and play with me again.
Yeah, 100%. When you play at least right here, tell me, because it was like 45
Dude,
minutes.
When that airball field is set up,
yeah.
Todd finished the field.
Todd, hurry up.
We're gonna try to do Wednesday nights.
Okay.
So I know we were talking earlier, like it's always hard. It's hard on the weekends, but weekday, middle of the week, come in, play from like 5 and 10 p.m. with the lights on.
Yeah. Let's do it. Dude, thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks, DJ.
Let's go.